Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Lynn. You are here at the Hope for Today office, and we're going to talk about hope. I'm so excited. I have been studying the life of Moses, and life is happening. Is life happening in your world? Life has been crazy since January 1st of 2024, and I am just really excited about this one and the next two podcasts. I'm ready to go. I wish we could just talk. I wish you could just all show up today with your coffee. We could sit in a big, living room setting and we could just talk, have a great time, connect, share stories. I so wish, maybe one day we'll have a live Hope for Today and have you all come over. That's how excited I am. I don't know, maybe these messages will mean nothing to you, but boy, do they mean something to me. And let me just preface by saying, when you're going through tough times in life and you're in a battle, you feel like you're at war, you're fighting with whatever you're fighting with, don't forget the Word of God is there for you to read, to listen to meditate on. Whether you listen to a reading and a reading of the Word, or you read it on a Kindle, or you flip the pages like I like to do, I don't care what version, all the rest. The Word of God is our major source to go to. We need to piggyback that with prayer so that we are committing these words that God has promised us, and we're committing them in prayer so God can answer and send messages. That's what I have to say. Now, okay, I guess we're done, right? We're good? There is your word of encouragement for today. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about Moses and battles. Are you in a battle? Do you fight? Do you feel like you're constantly fighting and losing? Do maybe you're in a fight with your spouse. Maybe you're in a fight with your kids, somebody, a coworker. Maybe work, and you're in work environment. Could be church. Churches are not perfect. People are not perfect, and people are always fighting with each other. Just a family member, or maybe you're fighting with yourself and you're fighting with your thoughts. We've talked about this over the past few weeks about, your headspace and where you're at. Yeah, fighting. Are you worn out? I'm tired of fighting sometimes. If you're married, you can probably understand this. Have you ever had a fight with your spouse? And then you're just so tired of fighting about whatever you were fighting about that you're just emotionally I don't really care anymore. I don't care if I'm right, you're right, I'm wrong, you're right. I just want out. I just want to be done. Now for me, that means I'm done for the day. I'm done for that moment. Let's time out. Let's clear it, move forward, and that's it. For other people, that was the last straw and they want to give up. Let me see if I can grab something here. Hold on a second. Let me see what I have. All right, I'm going to grab this water bottle. All right, I'm going to hold this up. So we're talking. I'm just going to talk to you. So as I'm talking to you, I want to read a verse. So just ignore my arms, but I'm going to read something to you. We're going to be in Exodus chapter 17. And we're going to be in, verse 8. So here is Moses, and he has now been instructed by the Lord to do something. And the Amalekites came and attacked the Israelites. Moses said to Joshua, "Choose some of our men and go out to fight the Amalekites. Tomorrow I will stand at the top of the hill with a staff of God in my hands." Ooh, I'm getting tired. Guys. So Joshua fought the Amalekites as Moses had ordered, and Moses, Aaron, and Hur went to the top of the hill. As long as Moses held up his hands, the Israelites were winning. But whenever he lowered his hands, the Amalekites were winning. When Moses' hands grew tired, they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. Aaron and Hur held up his hands, one on one side and one on the other, so that his hands remained steady until sunset. So Joshua overcame the Amalekite army with the sword. Oh, man, that's almost an empty water bottle, but holding my arms up that long, man, I'm a little out of shape here. What happened here? So God had instructed Moses, you're going to have this battle. You're going to have this battle against the Amalekites. The Israelites, you're going to fight the Amalekites. But I'm telling you, take that staff, hold it above your head like this, and as long as you do that, you will win the battle. Now, let me ask you a question. Actually, I'm going to borrow that water. Hang on one second. Take a sip of your coffee. Here we go. So let me ask you a question. When you read these stories in the Bible, do you look at, which I tend to do, and it's ridiculous, but, anyway, we do it. When you read stories in the Bible about Moses and David and Paul and Matthew and all these people, you kind of think like, oh, they're biblical characters. Oh, they're somebody special. Abraham walked with God. Ooh, there's somebody like a wow person. They got hungry if they didn't eat. They got thirsty if they didn't drink. They probably got a cold or the flu or, who knows whatever is back in those days. If they didn't get a good night's sleep, they woke up tired. And if they stubbed their toe, they probably had the same choice words in their head that we have. And, they were a human being created by God, the same as you and me. They were absolutely no different than you and me. They might be special people because they got their name in the Bible and God used them as an example. Absolutely. Not taking away from that. But the fact that we look at them as these wow people. Here is Moses holding up a staff and he grew weary. He was a human being just like you and me, trying to hold up his arms and he grew tired. He's human and God knows that. God will give us tasks to do. God is all-knowing. God is ever-present. God has all the solutions. He's in the solutions. He's in the tomorrows. He's in the future. He's in the past. He's in the right nows. The Lord can do everything with perfection. We cannot. So then you'd say, well, then why would God ask me to do something if he knows physically it's going to be a challenge for me? Well, it's not always about us either. So let me break this down a little bit. So here Moses was given clear instructions by the Lord. You're going to go into battle. But I'm telling you, this is what you need to do. How many times have we been called to do something and you know you've been called to do it? Clearly, no ifs, ands, or buts. God told me to do this. But then you go to do it and you feel like your arms are growing weary. Your soul is growing weary. Whatever. Things have happened to make you feel weary. Now, Aaron, if I have this correct, and you can, check the Bible, but I believe Aaron was his brother and Hur was his friend. I think that I have them right. But either way, we have friends and family here that came alongside Moses. What did they do for Moses? They saw him growing weary. They gave him a stone to rest upon. One held his arm on one side, one held his arm on the other until the battle was won. Have you built up a relationship with friends and family? Have you built up a relationship with your coworkers? Have you built up a relationship with people in your church? Have you built a relationship with your kids and your husband to the point when God has called you to do something and you go and say, and I say, if I said right now to my husband, who's my #1 fan, cheerleader, and supporter of everything I do, God called me to hold up a staff because we're going into battle and this is what I need to do. But I need you there just in case I grow weary. My husband would be the first one to say, not only will I be there, I will help you with both of my hands to support both of your hands. Why? Because my husband and I have a relationship to serve the Lord together. Do we fight? Absolutely. Do we have our days where we don't want to be in the same room as each other? Absolutely. Does he like chocolate ice cream and I like vanilla ice cream? Absolutely. We're different people. We have different purposes in life and different everything in life. But when the rubber hits the road, I know I can count on him without a shadow of a doubt. Same with my kids. All 3 of my kids, if I said I feel God is calling me to do something, I have 3 kids that'll, you go, Mom. That's great. What can we do to help you? Have you built a relationship enough with people that you know as you serve the Lord and as you grow weary that you'll have somebody say, hey, I have a place for you to rest and let me help you get through where you need to be for what God has called you to do. You know, if you haven't built those relationships, why? Could be a couple reasons. One is you've just never reached out to anyone and built those relationships. Relationships sometimes can come to you, but you still need to have a part in that. Two is maybe you've blown all the relationships you've had because you're just a plain old grumpy person and couldn't care less about anything. I know a lot of people like that, that when they walk in the room, like, I want to go out the back door because they're not interesting people. They're grumpy. They're negative. I know that I can't count on them. They're going to tell me they're going to be there, but I know when the rubber hits the road, oh, you know, I wasn't really feeling good. I had something else come up. Their yay is not their yay and their nay is not their nay. I don't like people that I can't count on. All these things. Maybe you've not built relationships. Start. Definitely start. Maybe the best relationship would be is, hey, find somebody that has a common interest in things you're interested in. And then when you say, hey, I was thinking about working in Vacation Bible School, and I really feel called to help this year. And I know they're having a Vacation Bible School meeting in church in 2 weeks. You know, you like crafts and I like crafts. What if we teamed together and served together? Now that's a common interest. You're building a relationship. You've asked them to join you. You're going to serve, and you have somebody that you can count on and rely on, and so on and so forth. That's one thing. Another part of that is, are you the person who somebody can count on? You know, I would love to think that if one of my coworkers where I work, or my family, my husband, my kids, my pastor's wife said, hey, Lynn, I am doing this. Can you come alongside of me and see if you can help me? I'm all about that. I am very strict in my own way of making sure if I say yes, it's a yes. Otherwise, it might be, let me check first. Number one, I need to pray about certain things. Is that where God's calling me? Because maybe I'm really not the right person, but I can support them in another way. Maybe I can't be there. But are you the type of person that somebody can count on? Are you the type of person that they can look at Lynn Wilson and say, hey, I got a job to do. I need a support system. I need a cheerleader. I need a go-to person. I need a person of resource. I need somebody with words of nuggets of wisdom. I need some guidance. I need some direction. I need moral support. I need emotional support. I need somebody who would give me a stone to sit on and let me rest. Are you that person that somebody can count on? Moses went into battle because God called him to do it, but he was a human being with human strength. But you know what? God came right alongside of him and said, wait, I'm sending you this person. I'm sending you this person. I give you a stone to sit on. They're going to help hold that pole or staff in the air, and you are going to win the battle. And at the end, it said, so Joshua overcame the army with the sword. He overtook them. The Amalekites were defeated. The Israelites won. Number one is Moses took the call. Number two, God sent help. God is not going to send you out to battle. God is not going to send you out to serve. God is not going to give you a calling on your life. No matter how big or how little you think that calling is, He's not going to send you up or send you out without setting you up for success. Now, you've got to come back next week because we're going to talk about somebody that's going to fight for us and make sure that we are successful in what we do. How many times have you said, oh, if I only could? Well, next week, if you want to do something, you want to be excited about serving the Lord, and listen, I'm not talking about full-time Christian work like you have to be a pastor or a leader in an organization or do things like what I do here where I work. If God's calling you to do something, maybe it's to take better care of your family or your spouse or your children, or maybe your parents are older, or somebody in your church. It could be something in your mind that is so small, but God has called you to do it. He will set you up for success. Come back next week. We're going to talk about that. And then the following week, just to give a little commercial here, we're going to talk about, does it really matter? Does it matter? Does it really matter? I've had people say that, what's the difference? Does that really matter? We're going to talk about an Easter story that you will never forget. All right, come back for the next 2 weeks. I look forward to seeing you. If you want to hear more about some of the things we've learned from the life of Moses, go back to the last couple of weeks' podcasts. Check those out. Please leave a comment. Send me an email. Wave hello if you get to meet me in person. I'd love to connect with you. I love your words of encouragement. Thank you. We'll catch you all next week on the next podcast.